All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Greetings from the Garden State. I'm your host, Mike Ham. We're here in Hoboken today at XL Athletic Lifestyle with Courtney Roselle. Courtney, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. So it was cool that we got connected.
Yes.
When I was asked if Courtney Roselle would be a potential good guest for what I'm doing, I went down the rabbit hole of YouTube videos, and I was like, yeah, it makes sense.
Yes, you stalked me a bit. I like
bit.
it.
Well, you gotta do your homework
Yeah.
first. You know what I mean? So, like, if it sucked and you got beat every time on Titan games, I'd be like, fuck that. There's no way I'm having that.
She's a loser.
She's a loser. Okay, so let's, just because people may not know who you are, so let's learn a little bit about you. So let's kind of go early life, and then we'll kind of weave our way through the story of you.
Yes, I like it. So my name is Courtney Roselle. I live in Jersey City, New Jersey, and I'm the owner and founder of my own company, Iron Grace. So a little bit of background about me and how I got here. I am actually, which is pretty significant, I am the youngest of 4 brothers and a sister. So I'm the baby. I'm the toughest one, though. I'm the biggest one. I'm the most badass one. And I will say it to everyone in their faces, and they know it, all my brothers especially. But I just grew up as, like, the most feminine tomboy you'll ever meet. Like, I just wanted to play every sport possible and be the toughest kid out there. And I'm not even kidding. I had buck teeth. I had a mushroom haircut. I had a unibrow. I was like ugly duckling central. Plus, I'm about 5'10", so I literally was 5'10" when I was like 6. So I was like the biggest in my school, like boy, girl, like, and you know, the guys liked me because I was like the best in dodgeball, not because I was like the cutest or anything like that. But
you have to pick a girl, so you need a girl that can throw.
Yeah. Like, that's why guys like you. A little bit of bullying went on, a little bit of picking went on, but, like, again, I was always like the toughest. So growing up as a feminine tomboy kind of like molded me to who I was, because everybody always tried to fit me into a box. Like, are you really girly, or are you going to be an athletic boy? Like, what are you going to do? And I was like, no, I'm going to be exactly who the hell I want to be.
Right.
So I always struggled with, like, friendships and everything like that, but I threw myself into sports because I didn't have to pretend to be something I wasn't. And when I played a sport, like, I was just a strong athlete, and everybody just loved me being a strong athlete.
Yeah.
So I wanted to play football when I was younger, and my mom was like, hell no, you're not. So they threw me into cheerleading, like shit like that. And I was like, stop putting me in a box. But then I had body issues growing up and, like, who the hell I was. But again, I excelled very much in sports. I went to Mount St. Dominic. I was in basketball. I went to University of Scranton, played basketball for all 4 years. Then I came out of basketball, being in organized sports all my life, and I was like, now what the hell do I do?
Right.
And everybody was like, you got to follow the American dream path, right? Like, go get a corporate job, work 9 to 5, and do all the bullshit like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm so unhappy. I don't like this.
It's another box.
It's another box. Everybody's like, go and follow this path, especially as, like, a woman in, like, what we do and what I do. Like, we always just be shoved in a freaking box. So then,
don't put Courtney in a box.
Don't do it, guys. I want to break the fucking box open. So then I actually joined CrossFit. So, like, CrossFit was big. And I was like, what sport is this? My brother brought me, and he brought me to Brazen Athletics in Fairfield, and I met with the coaches and stuff like that, and I just instantly fell in love, because I know it sounds freaking crazy, but it was like the first time in life, like a barbell, for example.
Yeah.
It doesn't know what religion I am. It doesn't know what sex I am. It doesn't know what gender I am. All it knows is if it's fucking strong enough to pick it up or not. And everybody loved me in the gym and didn't love me as, like, oh, she's a strong female, or she's an athlete. Like, I'm just strong.
Yeah.
The gender neutral in CrossFit is so amazing. It just evens out.
Yeah.
You're just strong. You're just athletic. Men, women, everybody has a respect across the arena. And it helped me find my strongest, most authentic self. That, like, I was walking into work at the New Jersey Devils when I worked there, and, you know, everybody's all stressed about my job. And I was like, I just did the fucking hardest shit this morning at 6 a.m. I deadlifted 405. Like, you ain't gonna beat me right now. And everybody respected me in that arena and made me feel so good that I wanted to give back and do the same exact thing. Like, I was like, screw this 9 to 5. I want everybody to make sure they feel good as well.
Yeah.
But also growing up like a little bit of backwards, I wanted to be in fitness modeling so freaking bad because again, everybody was like, oh, you're such a boy. And I was like, no, I could be a model. I'm tall. I'm fucking 6 feet tall. Like I have legs the size of like my torso is only 22 inches and my legs are like 35 inches.
Okay.
So everybody was like, you should be in a model. You should be a model. So again, trying to shove me in a box. I went out for modeling when I was 13 and they're like, you'll only be a plus size model because you're too big. You're too muscular. You're too like manly. You'll never do this.
Right.
You'll never freaking do this.
Yeah.
And
It's
I
like
was
the worst. I feel like that's like the worst thing you could say to someone like you.
at 13 too. Like I'm already struggling enough.
13 is worse, but you know, like just getting to know you so far, it's like you can't say that to Courtney.
Yeah.
You're gonna fucking shove it right back in your face.
Yeah, they're like, we just love her. She's so cute, but like, she just can't. She'll never walk down a runway. She'll never be in a magazine. She'll just have to accept she's a plus size model. Mind you, I'm 13 years old. I'm like 100 pounds soaking wet. I was like very lean and cut, but like, I wasn't anything freaking crazy. And the modeling world just again was like trying to just be so specific on what a fitness model should look like. So I was like, screw that, threw myself into sports and whatever it is. But when I did CrossFit, I went out for fitness modeling again. And I was like so proud. I spent like $200. And when you're in college, coming out $200, that's all your beer money. I was pissed.
Yeah.
And I spent it on modeling and packages, UPS packages. I sent over like 35 packages out to modeling agencies. And every single one of them denied me.
Yeah.
Every single one. Except for one. And I was so excited. I went into the city with my brother and they were like, oh my God, you're here. They saw me in person. They're like, we just want to tell you that no little girl's going to ever want to flip a magazine page and look like you. That's what they told me in person. Like you brought me out to New York City.
Yeah.
You called me out to New York City.
Yeah. To do
and
that.
told me I'm not good enough.
Right.
And no, so instead of coming out like a little bit defeated, obviously when I was 13, I was like defeated. I was like, what the hell? I came out being like middle fingers up. Like I'm not gonna, I'm very happy with who I am, especially in the CrossFit arena, how strong it made me like physically and mentally beyond words that like, I almost gave up on modeling. Like I was like very much like, whatever, someone will find me, but like, I'm not gonna fucking focus on this anymore.
Yeah.
My mom ends up going to the US Open. This is how everything comes about. And she ends up sitting next to the assistant editor of Vogue. Her name is Jill Delming. She now works in the UK. And my mom has a couple cocktails. And now she's talking to Jill, like on the court. Mind you, my cousin got her these tickets on the court. Like my cousin Stephanie, which my mom would never be able to afford or go to. And Jill's like, and my mom's like, why are you here? Jill's like, I'm here to book models. And she's like, my daughter's a model. Like, look at her. Mind you, like a couple cocktails in.
Yeah. That's when the best stuff gets done.
Yeah. Like, and Jill's like, wait, your daughter is exactly what I'm looking for. I don't have a fitness model who actually like performs all these fitness activities and looks like this. Like, I want to meet her.
Yeah.
So my mom comes home and she tells me a story. It's like, you just embarrassed me. I was like, this woman is never gonna call me. You are so many cocktails in with my Aunt Laura. Like, you're never gonna call me.
Yeah.
Like, ever. Jill called me like the next day and was like, come in and like tomorrow. So I went in and she doesn't even tell me what she's doing with me.
Yeah.
She puts me in front of the editors of Self Magazine, Shape Magazine, Fitness Magazine. And I sat in a room, just me, and she's like, tell me about yourself. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like, this is it right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. And she was like, why you? And I was like, because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to just be a fitness model. Like, I'm trying to be authentic and real, and nobody does what I do. I'm a everyday worker. I'm trying to speak body positivity. I'm trying to break ceilings just being me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to be you. You guys should book me because I'm trying to fucking be me.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
Exactly.
I have the story to tell. I'm not trying to fit in your box. And they were like, hello, love you. I was like, I'm very authentic. I'm very Jersey. I'm very like, I walk into a room, I am myself. And I think everybody is always attracted to authenticity. I don't give a shit
100%.
who you are.
Right.
At the end of the day, if you're not authentic, everybody's going to be like, you all right.
Right, because if you're just like a watered down version of yourself, and this is something that I've like been on a self-discovery quest myself over the last couple of years, it's like you're trying to appeal to more people, but the people that aren't going to appeal to you, like they're still out. And then the people that you would have appealed to if you were just being yourself, they're like feel alienated because they're just like, what the hell is this? But then if you're just yourself and you just appeal to the people that you know, would actually get along with, then you're good to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so you're like attracting the same type of people that you vibe with, I think.
Yeah, and I think that when you do that, you attract anybody from all cultures, all roles in life, all classes. Like, I always say this, but like I could speak to the Pope and I could speak to the devil in the room because I'm like, I am myself. So I think that's like the most attractive thing. And that's at the point they were like, holy shit, let's book you. And my first thing was like Self magazine. And they did a whole interview on me and being, you know, a strong woman, how I didn't let the modeling industry come after me, anything like that. And then a month later, Jill calls me and she's like, yo, we have a Vogue magazine issue and there's a boxer, but the woman can't do it. She can't fly in on time. But there's no other girl who looks tough as shit and you're the only one I thought of. Please, let's like, I need you now. Like she called me at 8 o'clock that morning. She's like, I need you at the warehouse in Brooklyn at 9:30.
Yeah,
like now.
Right.
I'm at work at the New Jersey Devils. I told my boss, I go, I have a role of a lifetime. I need to go right now. And thank God he was the coolest guy, Jim Crane. He was like, get out of here. I got you.
Yeah.
I went down to Brooklyn for the entire day and filmed in a house, like, and they did a whole like how tough women are taking over the industry, blah, blah, blah. And my first modeling gig was in Vogue. First ever. And everybody's like,
it's a pretty good way to start.
yeah, they were like, what the hell? You wanted to model and you're in freaking Vogue? Like my cousin Stephanie, she's in PR and she was like, I can't get into Vogue and this is my job. Like I'm in like about a freaking philosophy bottle. Like, and you got into Vogue. And not only have they put me into Vogue, they put me on a 2-page spread, like my whole entire picture.
Yeah.
And that's when everything just started to like roll.
Yeah.
And everything else came about.
Right. No,
Yeah.
I love that. And it's funny too because like, you know, we were talking before or you were saying before about how like you play sports, organized sports, like all that kind of stuff, and then like CrossFit was something that kind of like just shook that.
Yeah.
Like I played college baseball and then for like basically 10 years didn't know what to do because I was just like my whole world is over. You know what I mean? And then like, started doing that at Motown because they're a former guest and it just like totally changed like my life. You know?
Yeah.
Like I was doing it at 6:15 this morning too, you know? But yeah, it's great.
I also just love that, like, you know, I always want to like stress to people, like, 90% of the world is not going to believe in what you believe in.
Right.
And they're not going to be on the same fucking path as you. But most of that it's because they have the fear of doing it. Like, even now, like, you can't see me, but I have red hair. Like, people are like, are you freaking crazy just having red fucking hair doing what you do and walking into business meetings? And I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm going to do me. And everybody, it only takes one person to like it and change your life.
Exactly.
It took Jill Deming to be like, wait, I got denied by every modeling agency under the sun. And then Vogue magazine was like, no, she's good. Like, she's fucking real good. You know what I mean? Like, it takes one person and also, like, just walk in the room being like, I am it. Like, I'm telling you right now I am it. And then just kind of, like, unfolds.
Yeah.
And I feel like CrossFit brought out the best of me of that. Because, again, you walk into a room and, like, nothing is defined just by how you perform.
Yeah.
And how you are in the room. So, like, it's amazing like that.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to take our first break of this episode. So this is the Greetings from the Garden State podcast. I'm Mike Ham. We're here in Hoboken, New Jersey today at Excel Athletic Lifestyle with Courtney Roselle. We'll be right back. Today in New Jersey History is sponsored by Silverstream Studio, a full-service podcasting studio, gallery, and retailer of oddities in Montclair, New Jersey. Check them out on Instagram at Silverstream Studio NJ. On May 16, 2003, Hoboken, New Jersey renamed its post office after legendary singer Frank Sinatra. And that is today in New Jersey history. All right, we're back for segment 2 of this episode of Greetings from the Garden State. I'm Mike Ham. We're here with Courtney Roselle at Excel Athletic Lifestyle in Hoboken, New Jersey. So in the first segment, we learned all about kind of like early Courtney.
Early Courtney, baby Courtney.
Baby Courtney.
Yes.
We learned that your first ever modeling gig was in Vogue, which doesn't suck.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
Absolutely not.
But let's kind of take the story from there. So like we're gonna learn more about the stuff that you've been doing recently, and I'm sure at some point we'll talk about like the videos that I was down the rabbit hole on, but we'll get to that in a minute. So
yes.
Vogue happens. You say things start to roll. So like, what was the first thing that started to roll?
All the companies that did not want me all of a sudden started calling me. So then I got booked for Shape magazine and Fitness magazine, and everybody just wanted to interview with me like, holy crap, how the hell did you make this work? So, you know, getting booked for all these gigs, all of a sudden my best friend Maddie was like, they're having an opening call for WWE Divas. I need you to apply. I was like, nah. They're like, no, they're gonna love you. Like, and this time I had purple hair. So
yeah,
they're like, you have purple hair, you are 6 feet tall, you look a certain way. Like, go out for WWE Divas. Mind you, they had over 50,000 applications. I'm like, Maddie, if you help me do the application, whatever, I'll send it in. But whatever it is, it is. they freaking call me and they're like, we want you to come down to Orlando.
Yeah.
Please come try out. So they picked 30 people, 15 guys, 15 girls. And I was like, what in the actual hell is happening?
So like, just sorry to cut you off. Like this is all basically like in how many?
Oh my God.
months?
Okay. So
Like a year? Less?
no, I would say like a 2 to 3 year span.
Okay. I was going to say, because if it was like Vogue, boom, 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 Divas, and then like,
I would
I'd be
say,
like,
yeah.
That's pretty.
2 or 3 year span, because also in this time, I quit the New Jersey Devils and started my own company, Iron Grace.
Right.
Like, I'm not even kidding. This was all happening at the same time. And he was like, well, whatever. You just quit your job. What else are you doing right now? I was like, I don't know, starting my own company, but like, it's fine. It's cool. Don't worry about it.
Right.
He was like, no, just do it. So anyway, WWE Divas calls me and they're like, come down to Orlando ASAP. So I'm like, fine. So I come down to Orlando ASAP and I'm so excited. I can't believe it. And, I watched WWE growing up. It's not like I don't know what it is. I just didn't think they were ever going to freaking pick me.
Yeah.
So I go down and I go to tryouts. It's about 3 or 4 days long. And we're at the training center. And they have many different things. They have just one day of just like interviews and like they, what presenting about you. And then another day, every day involved training like in the ring.
Yeah.
And then another day was also just strength and conditioning. So the strength and conditioning I smashed. They were like, holy crap.
Yeah.
And the training center is actually like a lot harder than people think. Like people, say it's fake, whatever it is, but like it does take a freaking toll on your body.
Yeah, like taking the bumps and like falling and
and you have to trust your partner to do the move correctly so they don't knock your freaking teeth out.
Right.
Like I came back with bruises all over from the ropes.
Right.
Many people got concussions. Like it's a real deal of like how much toll it takes on your body. But the best part was when I had to do an interview for like 5 minutes and then put it in front of a camera, like, tell me about yourself and do it in a very different, authentic way. And I knew this before I was going. And I'm on the plane. I'm like, what am I going to do? I made up a rap to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air about me. Yeah, like a rap.
Yeah.
And I still even have the lyrics. And I was like, this is a story about a girl from a small town. Like, and I just went off. And they were like, we never had a person just rap about their interview and like say they're from Jersey and what I came from and no one believed in me. And they were like, we love you. We love you. They wanted to book me and sign me up for WWE, but not for WWE. Like they have so many different minor leagues.
Yeah.
Like, like NXT and they can send you overseas. Yeah. Like, or you can even just be on the waiting list roster. Right. They still like sign you, but you could be there for years.
Yeah.
It just depends.
Right.
Now, mind you, I am later 20s and I'm like, no offense, like they wanted me to be a character and I worked all my life again to not be a character.
Interesting.
Like I did not want to be something and just be that. Like I want to be anything I want to be. So when I, nicely turned down the role, like nicely, but then at that, there was girls from the Titan Games there, like 2 different girls. And Emily, I really, really connected. She was on season 1. She's like, you need to go out for Titan Games.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's Titan Games?
Right.
And she was like, I was just on it. It was brand new with The Rock. And she's like, you need to go out. She's like, I'm going to talk to a couple producers too, but put in your application. And again, 20,000 people applied. I put in my application. I get a call for the Titan Games. They're like, we loved your YouTube interview. Like, we think you are such a presence. We heard your entire story. Like, please, let's interview. So I went through 2 different FaceTime interviews with 2 different directors or whatever. And they're like, come out to LA ASAP. We're going to put you through the combine.
Yeah.
So now from 20,000 applicants, they went to 70 people, go to LA and go to a combine.
Right.
Exactly. They test your speed, your agility, but most importantly, they just wanted to hear your story and your personality. And like, I would do an event, let's say like run a 100-yard dash or whatever. And then they would interview right after to see how you
like react in that moment. Yeah.
Like you're tired,
like
you're dead.
Like at the end of an episode. Yeah.
Like, we're about to interview you. How do you react? How is your presence?
Right.
And they were like, oh shit, you're like ready for this.
Yeah.
So I come back a week later from the combine. Everybody's getting their calls. And I'm like, not getting a call. And I'm like, great.
Good calls? Good calls?
Good calls. Everybody's getting good and bad.
Okay.
But like, I'm not getting a call. It's like a week later. I'm like, cool, I screwed up. Like,
right. They're not even going to call me.
They're not
it.
even it.
Yeah.
Like, they're not even it. And the last day they call me and they're like, Courtney, I just want to tell you some news. And the producer's so funny. His name is Peter. And he's like, I don't know if you're going to like this or not. And I was like, what? He's like, I'll call your work because you're not going to work. You're coming to Atlanta, like right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. Like, da-da-da. So they flew me down to Atlanta and had to be a big secret. Number one, the only people I could tell was my family, obviously, and the bosses of my gyms. Like, I'm going to be somewhere, and my clients.
Yeah.
But I signed a contract saying like, you cannot let this out, that you're away for the Titan Games, like a huge contract signed by The Rock. It was like $1 million fine if they found out. I was like, who am I paying $1 million if they find out?
Right.
So like, but it's signed by The Rock, and I'm like, okay.
Right.
So
it's got to be legit.
yeah. I'm like, holy crap. So I go down to the Titan Games, and it's a wild experience. I'm competing, I'm meeting everybody, and they have everything set up. And I'm like, listen, if I even win one round, I'll be happy.
Right.
Like, so my first event, I win. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm competing against another girl in Jersey. Second event, I win. I'm like, holy shit. Third event, I win. I'm like, I'm going to the freaking semifinals right now. Like, this is real. And then I go to the finals, and my final one is against Hannah Teeter. She's an Olympian snowboarder. And not gonna lie, they wanted these celebrities to win because it was like charity and donation, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And I end up beating her, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm the Titan of the East. Like, how the hell did this happen from like an 8-year-old girl just like wishing to be accepted into this world for exactly who she is, and now I'm Titan of the East, and I'm from freaking New Jersey. Like, that's also the proudest thing. Like, I love being from New Jersey.
Yeah.
I express it, and I ended up losing in the finals to an amazing athlete. She is absolutely amazing in the CrossFit arena, which was also amazing because I competed with Margot Alvarez and Danny Spiegel. Like, those are the freaking like Eli Manning and fucking Peyton Manning of freaking CrossFit. Okay,
Right.
So if I lose to them, I'm pretty cool with it. Like,
good company to keep. I
yeah,
guess.
and especially Margot Alvarez. Holy crap, she's one of the most amazing human beings I'll ever meet. So like, I love her. But again, I now hold this title of Titan of the East, and I'm from New Jersey, and it just like, then my company took off Iron Grace, and then I was motivational speaking to different high schools and where I got to, and now I do fitness training and making people strong. And one of my taglines is, "Be strong but live confident," and that's all I want people to be.
Yeah,
like your physical strength and your mental strength and your emotional strength will make you live the most confident life and the most authentic life. And I think that's the happiest you'll ever be.
Right.
And I think everything just kind of unfolds from there.
Yeah.
So again, like, I just can't believe I hold this title. And again, everybody told me freaking no.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, no, no, no. But I just knew at the end of the day, like, in my mindset, if I tell myself I'm a champion, like, I'll win. And if I don't win, I'll learn from it. Like, I think that's what separates a lot of people. Like, people tell themselves like, I lost, like I'm a failure.
Yeah.
No, that's just a learning curve. Like, you are being set up for something so much fucking bigger.
Right.
You have no idea what's coming your way. Like, if I didn't get denied from every big modeling agency possible, I wouldn't be tough enough to do what I do today. And like, I still get hate for what I do. And I still get like, look at you, no little girl wants to look like that. You're too big, you're red hair. Like, I still get it, but I'm just like, I don't care. Like, dude, do you know how many people just made fun of me for exactly what I did and built me like the most amazing shield of like armor to go into any room and be like, I don't give a shit. And I also believe that like I was put on this earth, and I know it sounds crazy, but like to do things that people haven't done so other people can, I open the door and they just leave behind me.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the coolest thing alive. So.
Yeah. Does that become like difficult because like, being somebody that's like a trailblazer, kind of like someone that does something first, obviously is not.
No,
easy,
it's not easy.
But
you take 2 million hits, like 2 million. I mean, even recently, I'm like, I coached the Montclair State men's basketball team, and I'm their head strength and conditioning coach as a woman. I'm the first one to ever do that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And like, everybody was like, if you're gonna book a woman, and the head coach was like, do you know how much she lifts? Like, do you know who she is?
Yeah.
So like, now people seeing my philosophy, like more people having my back and just doing what I do, like they're like, no, she lives exactly to who she is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, shoot, I take 2 million hits a day, and like people still have hate for it.
Do you like also looking into the future? Are there things that you're trying to do like new stuff that you're trying to do that's going to be like the first time ever?
Not like the first time ever, but I do have something set up that in the future, I'm investing certain money into certain accounts that I'm just trying to invest in other small businesses that people didn't believe in.
Okay, cool.
And hopefully they're on the rise. So like in the long term, I won't be a personal trainer, fitness trainer forever, fitness model, whatever, and motivational. I would actually like to do motivational speaking for the lifetime. So that's cool. But I also have an online app that I do fitness training as well. So that's like what I'm coming into new and what COVID brought out of me. But I want to, in the long run, invest in like other small businesses and real estates, and hopefully build like a nonprofit too.
Yeah.
But it's not the first one I'm ever going to do it. but I'm going to definitely do it to my own creativity, my own sass, my own spice. Like, I am spicy. So I want to do it to something like that. And people who didn't believe in them and be like, no one believed in me too, but here you go.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I love that. And we're going to get more into some of the other stuff that you're doing with the motivational speaking and all that here in a second. So we're going to take our second break, our last break of this episode. So this is the Greetings from the Garden State podcast. I'm Mike Ham. We're here with Courtney Roselle at Excel Athletic Lifestyle in Hoboken, New Jersey. We'll be right back. It is time for your New Jersey fun fact of the day. Did you know that the first solid body electric guitar was invented by Les Paul in Mahwah in 1940? And that is your New Jersey fun fact of the day. All right, we're back for segment 3 of this episode of Greetings from the Garden State. I'm Mike Ham. We're here with Courtney Roselle at Excel Athletic Lifestyle in Hoboken, New Jersey. So in the first segment, we learned about your background, early Courtney. The second segment, we learned about recent Courtney and kind of all the cool stuff that you've been doing over the last few years with Iron Grace and the WWE Divas thing and Titan Games and all that kind of stuff. So you had mentioned towards the end of the last segment that motivational speaking is something that you want to do moving forward and body positivity and all that kind of stuff. So let's kind of go through that. Who are you giving these talks to? And what are they kind of centered around?
Yeah. So I do 3 different types of motivational speaking. One to just entrepreneurs, especially women entrepreneurs. I currently actually mentor 2 to 3. I'm getting a new client now. 3 different women on how to up and coming in the fitness arena and fitness influencing and, how to make an impact. I do body positivity to actually little Girl Scout troops, which are really cute, and then high schools. Yeah. So always high schools. And then lastly, I just also talk about health and fitness, to companies. I got hired by a big finance firm at Boston Consulting Group over the pandemic to do just about health and fitness and what's up and coming.
Yeah.
So those are 3 different talks I give.
Right.
Yeah.
So I find that interesting because it's sometimes people that do the types of things that you do, they can do them, but sometimes talking about it is a totally different ball game. So was that an easy transition to kind of go from what you were doing to kind of being up there, on a mic, doing something like this, but in front of a group of people? Yeah.
I mean, at first I was I don't know why the TV show is easier than a huge crowd of people. I don't know why. Maybe because it was and I don't know, we competed in an arena, but maybe I was oh, they'll just edit it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe that's what I thought. I was on TV, they'll just edit out anything that's bad. But being in front of a group of people is obviously a lot different. But I just told myself, everything I speak about, I live through.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about topics that I never lived through, especially body positivity and going into the fitness arena. Health and fitness is my career. An entrepreneur, I do. So I make sure in all my talks that I just break it down to the most simple forms. I don't try to. I hate when certain business people or certain fitness entrepreneurs talk in this big language, and I'm no one's going to understand what you're saying. Can you break it down in the lamest terms, and that's something someone connect to? So that's what I do. I just break it down in the most easy terms, the most lamest terms. And again, what I do every damn day. It's what I live every single day. And when you meet me and when you talk to me, oh no, she really does go through crazy shit. Yeah. So I go through the craziest shit, the craziest schedule. And again, it's just what I live in. Right. So yeah.
It's funny too that you say that. And I forgot to mention this before the episode when we were talking. But Mike Taggart is someone that we both know. And he was oh, you're going to interview Courtney. And he was she has to be the hardest worker I've ever met in my entire life. And I was oh, cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything to me. I'm just going to go and interview her, but it was cool. And hearing you talk about all the stuff that you're doing is, I could see it. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think that life is, I know it sounds crazy, but there's no fucking dress rehearsal. This is it.
Right.
This is all you got. So make an impact, make yourself known, and let's change people's lives while we're freaking here. And I'll work to the bone. Right now, I would like to grow Iron and Grace. So I have trainers underneath me because I have so many clients right now that I actually almost have to give them away. And I'm wait, why don't I just have trainers and give them to my own trainers?
Right.
But I don't
Do
mind.
You only train out of here?
No, I train at Brazen Athletics in Hoboken. Okay. I train here, and then I train at Excel Sports and Fitness, which is the same company, but it's in Fairfield, New Jersey.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So I train at 3 different gyms, plus have my online platform to train people all over the world in the country because of the Titan Games. It gave me that platform to be able to do so. And then during the pandemic, I was going through people's houses, but I was hell no, I am not doing that anymore. So yeah. And then again, my motivational speaking gigs, and then my fitness modeling on top of it. So I only have one employee, and it's funny, it's actually my mom. She's my paid employee. She's my personal assistant that gets other things done.
Yeah.
But I will make sure that I work myself to the ground, that I make an impact while I'm here. So
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So then kind of like with the personal training side, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Like what types of training are you doing?
So especially women, men already do it, but like I can't stress how important strength training is. Like strength. I don't want people to hire me for HIIT because you can do HIIT anywhere. Like I want you to be educated in strength. So I do a mix of CrossFit, bodybuilding, powerlifting, Olympic weightlifting, strongman. Because one of my goals before I turn 40, so I'm 33, guys. So I sometimes sound like I'm 24. So one of my goals before I turn 40 is to do CrossFit competition, which I've done for the past 8 years.
Yeah.
A strongman competition, powerlifting, Olympic weightlifting, and I'm actually doing bodybuilding towards the end of this year or the beginning of next year. I'm going to be in a figure competition. So there's different classes.
Yeah.
So I want to do that before the age of 40.
Right.
Which is a big goal of mine.
Yeah.
But being in the CrossFit arena, we already do strongman, Olympic weightlifting, and powerlifting, as you know.
Right.
So bodybuilding was going to be my biggest transform. And let me tell you, that shit is hard as hell. So it's just like
a totally different thing.
Yeah, you're working for aesthetics. Never in my entire life have I ever worked for aesthetics. I know it sounds crazy, but I worked to be a better athlete.
Yeah.
So she was like, you are built like a freaking powerhouse. Like my power muscles have been built since the age of like 8. Like, she was like, now I need the little muscles to come out, and it takes nutrition and doing like little things. Like I do lat raises 22,000 times a week of like this and get your delts to show and like the little things in your muscles of your hamstrings. And it's hard as shit.
Yeah.
But I thought this is the perfect time to do it now because everything else I can adapt to. Powerlifting, I will adapt in like a month. Like it's that I've been doing it my whole life.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. Fun fact, my dad was a bodybuilder and then a powerlifter when into his 40s. So obviously you could see where I get it from.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. I got a picture of him from back in the day, like in bodybuilding mode, and I'll show it to you after the episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's really cool. And I think it's also cool because I think it's something where it's like a new challenge, right? It's hard, but that's what you said it like a million times so far on this episode. Like you've done hard stuff before. So this is not going to be any different, I would imagine. It's something totally different because you said like aesthetics versus just doing it.
Yeah.
But I think that it's just something that you're just going to crush.
Yeah,
It seems like you're just crushing stuff.
Well, I just believe in strength training because when you physically become strong, male or female, like your emotional, mental strength, all of a sudden just like skyrockets. Like I have women who come to me and they're like, I just don't want to be bulky. I'm like, cool, whatever. And then all of a sudden they start lifting more weight and they're like, wait, I want big quads because I want to squat 200 pounds. I'm like, oh, now you want this to happen.
Right.
But we still just have that like, or even, I even have some guys who are like, I just want to fit in the same shirts that I do. And I'm like, what? Like, and there's like one of these just so lean and kind of like, well, you like, people just have a stigma of being big in general, but then they want to lift more and then they want to do certain things. And
there's only one way to do that.
Yeah. And even girls are just like, I want a bigger, even guys or girls that want bigger like asses or bigger legs. I'm like, you have to eat, right? Like I currently right now eat 29 to 3,200 calories a day.
Wow.
Like I eat. Yeah. Because that's how you build muscle, people. Like, you can't not eat and then strength train and be like, I want an ass. Like, it's just not gonna freaking happen.
Right.
So I like breaking that stigma too, and that's in my natural job. I like breaking those ceilings. I like breaking those walls. I like breaking those that everybody told us that we couldn't do. So I like education like that.
Yeah. No, I think that's awesome. Okay, so if people are listening to this episode and they want to learn more about you, where can they go to do that?
Oh my God. Okay, so irongracefitness.com, that is my website. You can also check me on Instagram just under Courtney_Roselle. My Facebook is Courtney Lynn. I don't know why I have an alter ego on Facebook, but it's my alter ego.
It was like a whole thing people were doing, like changing the.
Yeah, I don't know why,
names.
but only on Facebook. I have Twitter, Courtney Roselle. And anytime you just look up Iron Grace or Titan of the East, you will definitely find me. And you can message me on any of those platforms, and it is me. It's not a bot. even after the Titan games, I woke up the next morning to 252 messages in my DM, and I answered every single one of them. Everybody's like, "Is this really Courtney Roselle?" And I was like, "Yes, it's Courtney Roselle." Like, I don't have anybody answering my shit. Like, it's me.
Yeah,
it's 100% me.
Yeah,
every time.
I like that. I sometimes have a hard time responding to like one or two.
Yeah, takes me like a week sometimes. Don't get me wrong, but you'll get me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Awesome. And then I'm assuming that like if they're interested in the personal training stuff, like they can find that stuff.
Yeah,
on
just
the website
message
or
me
whatever.
about that or any type of motivational speaking, body positivity, especially. I love speaking to like, high schools and young athletes and Girl Scout troops and stuff like that. It's really a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's like my bread and butter and something that's like my heart right there. So
you see, I guess, like yourself kind of like in them almost.
yeah, and it's like just so cute. Like I train Girl Scout troops, especially like their heart has to be strong, their spirit needs to be strong, and then they physically need to be strong. And then they like flex in photos and their mom send them to me and they're like, my daughter's going home and doing push-ups. Like, cool. Like that to me, I mean, waking up even the next morning after Titan games being like, my daughter wants to be exactly like you, or even the sons. Like, I want to be exactly like Courtney is it. I was like, that was worth it. I don't need to be paid a penny at the end of the day.
Right.
That was so freaking worth it and so freaking cool.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I'm
Because
good.
it came like full circle from the other stuff. Like nobody wants to look like you. Everyone wants to be Courtney.
Yeah.
I want to be Courtney.
Want to have the red hair and all.
Well, I have no hair, so the red beard. I could make my beard red.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, but we'll see. Okay, so cool. So I'll put the links, the social handles, and all that kind of stuff in the show notes. People can go check you out. But yeah, thank you so much for doing this today. This was an awesome episode.
No, thank you for having me. And again, guys, love being from New Jersey, Iron Grace, and hopefully you guys reach out and get to hear from me. So
yeah, awesome. Love it. So this has been the Greetings from the Garden State podcast. I'm Mike Ham. We were here today with Courtney Roselle at Excel Athletic Lifestyle in Hoboken, New Jersey. Thank you for listening, and we will catch you next time.